Hello everybody, welcome back to the e-learning space for MGM Higher Secondary School, Bokaro. This is the second video for your grammar lesson number 9 for class 8 English. As discussed in our previous video, lesson number 9 in our Grammarite textbook is titled Auxiliary Verbs. In our last video, we understood what are these auxiliary verbs, what are their different types, usage and examples. Today, let us delve a little deeper in understanding auxiliary verbs. Let us also discuss our textual exercises in this video lesson. Auxiliary verbs. Now, before we begin with the definition, here are two activities for you. Suggest any 5 possible ways in which we can keep our city clean. So while we are suggesting these ways, we have to use the modal verbs like may, might, can and could. So what can be our sentences? Daily cleaning of public places could be done. Dustbins might be kept at all public places. We can use public transport or carpooling and reduce air pollution. You may write 3 more sentences on your own. Now coming to the second activity. Water is a precious resource. It is necessary to conserve water. Suggest a few ways to save this resource. Now while writing these suggestions, you have to use the modal verb must. So let us see some of the sentences. We must turn off the tap while brushing our teeth. We must check faucets and pipes regularly for leaks. We must use a bucket while taking shower. Now, while making these sentences, you have to keep in mind what are the auxiliary verbs that we are using and what are the main verbs that we have used. Let us see the definition as given in your grammar book. Auxiliary verbs are helping verbs that are used with main verbs to show the tense, mood, or voice of a sentence. Now let us revise. There are two types of auxiliary verbs, primary auxiliaries and modal auxiliaries. Primary means main. So we have the main helping verbs and the modal helping verbs. Let us see what are the examples or the forms of the main helping verbs or the primary auxiliary verbs. Verbs like be, do and have in all their forms are primary auxiliary verbs. Let us see the different forms of be, do and have. Am, is, are, was, were, being and been are the different forms of the verb be. The different forms of the verb have are has, have and had. The different forms of the verb do are do, does, did and done. Now based on our previous knowledge of primary auxiliary verbs and the definition that we have just seen, let us focus on the exercise at hand. Fill in the blanks with appropriate primary auxiliary verbs. Tanveer dash bringing pizza for us. Is bringing pizza for us. He had not returned the book till yesterday. Last night, my friend was staying with us. Did you find the answer to that question? I'm sure you have understood how we have to fill up these primary auxiliary verbs in the given blanks. I have helped you with the first 3. You may finish this in the textbook itself on your own. Now children, we come to exercise B. Identify whether has, have, had in these sentences are auxiliaries or main verbs. So if they're auxiliaries, they would of course exist along with another verb. and if they act as main verbs, they will not need assistance of other words. Let us see the first example. Our house in the village has no air condition. So over here, the word has exists independently. It is not helping any other verb. Hence, has over here is the main verb. Come to the second question. We had gone out for dinner last night. Do you see the main verb gone? And had over here is helping the main verb gone. Hence, the use of had in this sentence is as an auxiliary verb. Coming to the third sentence. They have named their son Samuel. Once again, named is a verb and it is being held by the word have. Hence, have here is again an auxiliary verb. Come to the fourth one. Her team had strong-willed members. Had over here is existing independently. It is not helping any other verbs. Hence, this is a main verb. So we have discussed 4 such sentences. Rest of these sentences you shall do in your textbook on your own. Let us now understand modal auxiliary verbs in greater detail. We have already learned that can, could, may, might, must, ought to, shall, should, will and would are called modal auxiliary verbs. They are used before main verbs to express ability, instruction, invitation, obligation, offer, request, permission, possibility, certainty, and necessity. Unlike primary auxiliaries, modal auxiliaries never change their form. So this is something worth highlighting. We know that primary auxiliary verbs have different forms, but modal auxiliary verbs, as highlighted in the textbook, can, could, may, might, must, etc., they do not change their form. And the usage also is given in the table here. Let us go through it. When we wish to express ability, we use modal verbs like can and could. Ability means the strength or capacity to do something. I can speak, read and write in 5 languages. I couldn't stop laughing at his jokes. Can and could are used in these sentences to express ability. Coming to must, will and shall. These are used in order to show certainty or will. Means if the decision is final or everything is decisive in nature, you are certain about it, then we use the modal verbs must, will and shall. Let us see the examples here. You must read this book. I shall take you to Shillong next year. I will submit the assignment tomorrow. So there is a inherent certainty and will about these statements. We use the modal verb must to express necessity. You must drink at least 6 glasses of water every day. I must check the expiry date of the products before buying them. In the beginning of the lesson itself, we did a small activity where we made sentences under 2 circumstances. In the second activity, we were making sentences on how to save water as a resource. And we used the modal verb must because we were showing the necessity to save the water as resource. I must check the expiry date. We must save water. So the necessity is shown with the help of the modal verb must. Here's a list of more modal verbs with their usage and examples. Must and should are also used when we are giving instructions. For example, you must show your identity card on demand. You should never tell a lie. We are giving an instruction. Modal verbs like can, could, may, would, shall, and must are used to give offers and invitations. So remember, we are using must for necessity, for instructions, and also for giving offers and invitations. May I help you to cross the road for seeking permission? I could help you complete the work if you want. Offering help, invitation to help somebody. Would you like to have a cup of tea? Inviting somebody over for a cup of tea. To suggest obligation, we use modal verbs like ought to, should, and must. I ought to visit my friend today. You should do as you are told. You must be absolutely quiet here. So we are suggesting some kind of obligation while using ought to, should, and must. Modal verbs like may, might, can, and could suggest possibility. Possibility means what might happen. There's a possible predicted future about it. I may not come to see you. It might rain at night. There's a probability. It could have been a disaster. To give or take permission or make a request, we use modal verbs like could, may, and would. Once again, we are using may for permission or for making a request. May I take the seat next to the window? Could we ask you a question? Would you please lend me some money? You may leave early today while giving or taking permission or making a request. You might consider the proposal. Shall we try another method? Here we are giving a suggestion. So while giving suggestions, we use the modal verbs like might, may, and shall. He need not worry about the exam tomorrow. If only I could be a bird and fly. Over here, we are expressing some kind of want or wishes or desires. Hence, we have used the modal verb need and could. Let us now come to exercise C. Now, based on our understanding of the modal verbs, here is an exercise. The options are given and the direction or instruction is also given. And based on that, we are going to select the correct modal verb. I should or I can write with both my hands. It is showing ability. So, of course, we will go with I can write with both my hands. I shall or I could visit my doctor this week. You're certain about something. So we will say I shall visit my doctor this week. Must or can we swim in the lake? It's a permission. So can we swim in the lake? You may or ought to help your mother. Show some obligation in the sentence. So obligation definitely will go with ought to. You ought to help your mother. Do you want to learn French? I could or I would teach you. An offer. So when it is an offer, we are going with I could teach you. Rest of the sentences, children, you will do it on your own in the textbook itself. 15 sentences in this exercise. We have discussed 5. Rest 10 you shall do on your own. Now continuing what we have learnt about tenses and verbs and different forms of auxiliary verbs. Here we have an exercise where we are going to use the correct tense of the verbs given in the bracket to complete the sentences. First one, you have missed him. Mr. Roy has just left for home. Present perfect. I have known him for several years. Come to the third one. Have you read Little Women? Come to the fourth one. We haven't seen Kiba for several days. You dashed the cake that I wanted to eat. You have already eaten the cake that I wanted to eat. Similarly, you can complete the rest of the sentences taking help from the verbs given in the brackets and do it in your textbook itself. Come to exercise B. In these sentences, modal verbs are missing and you have to put a slash where we have to insert a modal verb and then complete the sentence and use the modal verb in the blank given next to the sentence. I don't think I be able to go. I don't think I will be able to go. You be punctual. You must be punctual. I help you. Can I help you? You may also say, shall I help you? May I help you is also correct. I was afraid that if I asked him, he refused. The correct sentence would be, I was afraid that if I asked him, he might refuse. Come to exercise C. Rest of the sentences of exercise B, you're supposed to do it on your own. Now match the columns to identify the meanings that the sentences express. Read the sentence, gather or analyze what they mean, and then match the column to the mood of the sentence. You must have the permit to meet her. You must. We use must in case of necessity. G. I cannot speak Spanish. We use can to express ability. H. Ability. I will send the file to you by the end of the day. I will. That means I am showing certainty. Hence, certainty. May we please go to the library? You are requesting. So this sentence is showing request. Come to the fifth one. You should always talk politely. Should. You are instructing somebody. Hence, instruction. I am sure if you read through the sentences, you're going to analyze what mood the sentences are in and then match the column and complete the exercise. Coming to the end of the textual exercises, we have a composition here. The topic given to you is you have just got a job in a departmental store. Your supervisor gave you some instructions and you took down some quick notes. Look at the quick notes that you have taken. Polite with customers, lose cashbox key, punctual, work late, dress neatly, show interest, appear disinterested, responsible, help co-workers. Now with the help of those notes, write the instructions in detail using the models like must, mustn't, should, shouldn't, ought to. Let me give you an example. Today was my first day in C Fresh, the departmental store. My supervisor gave me a set of instructions that I need to keep in mind at all times. The first and foremost is that I must be polite with customers. Similarly, you will use the other modal verbs and the quick notes that you have taken here and complete the entire composition in your English practice copies. Now that brings us to your assignments. What assignments you will be doing from this lesson? Complete the textual exercises in the grammar textbooks. Then complete exercise B given on page 73 in your English copies. And do the composition on page 74, exercise A in your English practice copies. That brings us to the end of auxiliary verbs, that is primary auxiliaries and modal auxiliaries. We are going to discuss this lesson further in our online classes with some additional worksheets. Till then, children, thank you and take care.